Hey crew, Conrad coming at you with a classified ad review on this amazing AG 4-seater long travel sand car. But before we get there, you know the routine. Get yourself some awesome merch. Check out the hats and the shirts. Decals coming soon. But where do I get it? I'm glad you asked. Right here, sandcarbysell.com. I happen to have a Patreon account for a few bucks a month that would go a long way in helping us to bring you more content. And lastly, subscribe. It's free. Check out all the content we've got. What? Hours and hours for your viewing pleasure. Now on to the review. Imagine, if you will, you and your significant other in this amazing dune buggy in this barren wasteland of dunes. And what would you do while you were there? We'll find out. This is what you do in that barren wasteland of dunes, is jump this thing like the Duke boys did in the old General Lee. Check out the airtime we got on this thing. Massive, right? And I bet you it soaked up that landing like nothing. So before I get too far into dreaming about this car, how about we run through the details of what it's got? So we've got the description here, and check out the underglow on this thing. I love these rock lights. I think it just makes it look so nice when you're out at the hill at night or you're cruising through the dunes. Attach that light to your whip light, you know, so when you flip that on, it's like, oh, ow, oh. Okay, anyway, let's jump in here. Let's see what we got. This car is brought to you by Sandcar Buy-Sell crew member Aaron Baldwin. He is out of Great Bend, Kansas. Kansas? Is that why there's all this green stuff? Because he's based out of Kansas? Man, if you live in the Southwest in the desert, this is like, wow. But I digress. Speaking of, since this is based out of Kansas, you know what I would name this car? Toto. No, not that Toto. This Toto. You know the one I'm talking about. The little dog from that movie from like the 1940s that was black and white and color. And little dog Toto that she had. Yeah, Kansas Toto. Sandcar, get it? All right, enough of that. We'll get back to it. I guess we're not in Kansas anymore. Where was I? 2006 AG Sandcar. He's asking $39,000. We have an LS1 V8, a Mendiola 2D Trans with a fresh rebuild, 930 polished car tech, which is the best of the best, CVs with 300M axle shafts, 2-inch spindles, which are really nice on a big car like this, 4-wheel disc brakes, 35-inch Extreme Revolution paddles, 15-inch beadlocks all the way around, a new Lexan windshield, so you can run goggleless or sunglasses. I prefer. Anyhow, moving on. Lexan windshield, brand new rugged radio with Bluetooth intercom, a 40-inch light bar with 2 pod lights on the front bumper. AG Sandcars, they've been around for about 20 or 25 years. They still do have a website if you want to check that out. And in there, I found their gallery, and there's some pretty awesome pictures from back in the day. This is going to be around the early 2000s when, guess what? Sandsport Super Show actually used to display sand cars at the event. But here's a plethora of the vehicles that they've built over the years. They built some amazing machines. Check out that chrome J-arm. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get into Aaron's car. And here's the machine. What a stout looking rig this is. All right, so first things that stick out to me, check out these gold beadlock wheels. It's not something that you usually see. Was that gold or bronze? I don't know, but it looks beautiful, right? 4-wheel beadlocks on it. You've got a Sand Tires Unlimited Razor Blaster triple front on there. And he mentioned that it has the Extreme Revolution 35s on the back. I mean, look at how the flotation for that tire is going to be pretty awesome. So what do we see here? Full body on it with the side panels. I do see some side steps. The bypasses in the back. Triangulation is beautiful. B-pillar, definitely necessary. You mentioned it had a brand new windshield in it. You've got a piggyback reservoir in the front. Nice push bumper up here. All right, let's move on to the next. So as I mentioned earlier when we were looking at those Sandsports Super Show pictures of the cars, here's the J-arm setup right here. Now, what you'll often see is an A-arm, right, where that comes around like this. And this is AG, is one of the manufacturers that run this J-arm style. As you can see, it kind of looks like a letter J, right? And then you've got an A-arm under the bottom. But I love the setup on this, how it's plated, and you've got your dimple die spots in here. Beautiful uprights. Here's your brake lines for your front disc brakes. What's in here? Am I just dumb? What the hell is that? Bolt going through Heim joint. Oh, that's the J-arm. Dumbass, bro. That's the J-arm attachment. Imagine that. I can't tell. It's not chromed. It's not. I can't see. It's black against that. I can't see. Don't give me a hard time. And on top of that, you've got your Fox piggyback reservoirs with the adjustment up here. So you can literally just go up and adjust your shocks on the fly as you're driving, and you can get it dialed in for the type of driving you like. If you're just a cruiser or if you're a jumper, you can make this car extremely comfortable. So it's a really nice setup. Next. Okay, so check out this interior. Straight away, I see some nice, big, comfy suspension seats with 5-point harnesses. I'm definitely big on safety. That crotch strap is super important. Plus, the B-pillar placement on this is fantastic. It keeps it really far away from your head, from you and your passenger. So we've got our A, B, our C pillar with our triangulation. You got a gas filler up here, so when you throw that jug up there and you're holding it up, you don't overfill the tank. You can actually see how much fuel is in it. Trailing arms are beautiful. We've got some dimple dies in there. It's plated. The lower shock mount is just awesome. And the triangulation up at the top. I mean, you could definitely race this car and have no issues with it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But I do have something I'd like to mention about the Radiator. We interrupt this regularly scheduled program for Tech Tips by Conrad. So the mission statement of Sandcar Adventures is to entertain and educate. So here comes the education portion of this, right? I really like the location of the Radiator because it's way up high and it keeps it in the airflow to keep your engine cool. But this car's in Kansas, and I'm not sure what the weather is like there when you go dooning in this car, but down here in the Southwest, we kind of run into an issue. Aaron mentioned, that he just put in this brand new windshield. So at the Southwest Dune complexes, that's going to be Dumont or the Imperial Sand Dunes Recreation Area, at the beginning and the end of the seasons, it's pretty warm. I would say it's pretty hot, actually. When you have a windshield in your car, when you're driving forward, the wind tends to blow out and around, and it causes a vacuum inside the car, and you're not getting any air through your radiator. So to remedy that, usually what we'll put in the top is some sort of a scoop that breaks that up. So as the wind is coming through, just like that, you hit that scoop, it blows the air down in right in front of the radiator, and it breaks that little cyclone that's in here. So the wind that's coming off the windshield sucks inside and blows through your radiator. You're welcome. But otherwise, I guess that's all I see, what I see. Next. Oh my gosh, check out this front end. When I see this, I'm thinking, man, I'd love to hit the Olds double. But then again, the Olds double blew away like 15, 20 years ago. So what are we doing now? We're hitting the swing set double, right? No problem in this car. Dude, I would totally hit it. What, third gear, half throttle? We don't want to overshoot it. But just a really stout setup. Check out the shock mount on the lower A-arm here. You've got your Howe steering unit. Again, spindles are beautiful. Your triple razors. Oh, you can see your front disc brakes. Here's his lights that he mentioned. Full body on here. Full windshield, beautiful setup, overhead light bar. Looks like it's a radius light bar, right? Where it's bent, so it throws the light all the way out. That's a really, really nice setup. All right, and next. All right, so now we've got the passenger 3/4. Now this all comes through. Look at the triangulation up here on the shock mount. I see that. You've got your wing, probably a wing trunk. Most guys were putting wing trunks in these back in the day. He did mention this is a 2006. Trailing arms again. Not much else to see on this one. But, oh, here, check it, look. Head is right here. B pillar's back here. Your head is right here. The C pillar is way back here. So very safe for the occupants. So whether or not you want to wear a helmet in your sand car, that's up to you. But I really like the placement of the B and the C pillar to keep your head away from those bars. Moving on. All right, moving inside the car and looking out the front. Here's that shifter. I'm not going to say what I think it is because I don't want to misrepresent. Oh, but that's a Momo steering wheel. We've got some nice structure in here, some triangulation. Does it have, Aaron, does this have hanging pedals? Because I think it looks like it's got hanging pedals in it, actually, which are really nice for articulation when you're pushing on them. Very clean dash with your simple gauges on here, all of your switches, everything's labeled. So you know what you're putting on. Oh, he's got dome lights in the car. That's always helpful whenever you're putting your goggles on at night, right? Here's the rugged radio setup that he mentioned that was brand new as well. Grab handle for your passenger. Very simple design, very easy to see and reach all of your switches while you're getting going. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, let's get to the business end of things. First thing I see, what? Farm use only. Pitch and wing, we've got some LED trailer lights on here. Those are really nice for illumination. And look at the strength that we've got going through here to your down bars. AG put a nice monogrammed skid plate on there. You've got your LS1 in here with your dual exhaust. Here's your power steering pump and so forth. We don't have a build sheet on the engine. You'll have to hit Aaron up for that to find out exactly what's inside that. But it looks like it's got some gussied up parts on it as well. And just the design of this rear end is absolutely fantastic. So let's move on to the next. So now we've got an overhead shot of the engine. I love the dual K&Ns running around into the intake here. Looks like we've got some billet fuel rails on there, some nice valve covers, dual fans blowing through. Again, I really like the placement. I do see a piano hinge on here. So this is going to be a wing trunk, so you can throw your jacket and your gloves and all your necessities in there. Pretty awesome package. Next. Here we've got the rear 3/4 shot. And again, looking at the triangulation of all these uprights through here with these Fox shocks. Just a sweet setup, right? And then there's that fuel filler I mentioned earlier. So you can walk up between the cage and the tire, fill that up and not overflow your tank. Radiator placement again, I like. We've got a Mendiola 2D in here. So there's a good shot of that. Here, let me blow that up. Looks like you've got your battery in there as well. Good placement. Oh, look, there's some hooks on here for strapping your car down. What does Borat say? Very nice, because it just cracks me up when people forget to put tow hooks on the car before they powder coat it. So let's see, radiator lines. Next. All right, so now we're back to the driver's side, and that's pretty much all that I see. Suspension is super stout. I mean, take a look at this front J-arm setup with your lower A-arm. Shocks, I mean, swing set double, Oldsmobile Hill jumping down it, like no issues whatsoever. I had to throw in a shot of the underglow as well because I just think it's beautiful. Plus, I love purple. Purple lights just glow off the sand. So where were we at? We were at Great Bend, Kansas is where this car is located. He's asking $39,000 for our 2006 AG sand car. Looks like a lot of fun. I would not hesitate to pick this up and go drive it in any one of our dune complexes. Hell, you can even drive this thing in the desert if you had a set of dirt tires for it. It'd be a lot of fun. Otherwise, that's all I've got. I'll go ahead and close this out by saying thank you for watching. See you in the dunes. Twilight Zone opening in 3, 2, 1. Oh, figures. Speaking of Kansas, since this one is based, I'll supply the love. You are the flower? How provocative. Ours or not, I didn't bother to call and ask, I guess. Anyway. Their blow up page. I pulled up the AG Sandcars. God, AG Sandcars take 5. So AG Sandcars has been around for 20. Let me go ahead and interrupt this scheduling. Rock and roll, right? God. Holy shiitake mushrooms. Check out this front end.